Okay, hello. So, we're going to start with a strap today. If you don't have a strap, just a regular belt will do. Even a towel or a scarf will all be fine. So just keeping that right next to you where you can get it in a moment. And sit up nice and tall, resting your shoulders down and lifting through the back of the skull, gently closing your eyes. Starting to connect into your body and breath. Observing the thoughts, sensations, and overall energy that you are existing in today. I'm trying to view these things as a dispassionate observer. Simply becoming aware. Working into orbit breath now. Bring your awareness to the base of your spine. And as you inhale, draw energy from the earth up the back of the spine to the crown of the head. Gentle pause here. And then draw energy through the crown of the head, down the front of the body, and meeting at the base of the spine. You're going to flow with your own breath now, making each round a little bit longer, a little bit more active. And allow your mind to go with the flow. Maybe you start to visualize a particular color, a pattern or a shape. A sensation or emotion. Just let your mind drift off to a natural expression. Connecting into the circular motion of the breath. Taking one final round of orbit breath. And then lowering your chin to your chest. Gently blinking, eyes open. You're going to take hold of your strap or scarf now and open the arms out quite wide, palms facing down. We're going to soften the shoulders here and then inhale to take the hands overhead and exhale to bring the hands behind the back. You'll feel now whether you want to go wider or narrower. Inhaling up and exhaling down. So you can bring the hands closer for more intensity or further for less intensity. If the elbows are bending to accommodate, then you are probably too close. Bring the hands a bit wider. If the rib cage is popping greatly when you bring your hands behind your back, that's an indication that there's quite a lot of tightness in the shoulders and that the spine is trying to compensate for the movement. So again, open the hands a bit wider and really try to stabilize the rib cage as you bring the hands behind you. And you may want to continue with your orbit breath throughout the practice today. It is quite a nice pranayama to move and flow with. Let's take one more round. And then coming to center again. Bring the hands about shoulder distance now. Inhaling the arms overhead and then bending one elbow behind the head as your straight arm pulls backwards. So you're trying to pull the elbow behind the skull without popping your head forward or lowering your chin to your chest. Keep your neck in neutral and then work the arm behind. Let's inhale up and over to the other side. Again, you should notice that one shoulder is a bit more open than the other. This is very common. Keep working into neutral neck. And then inhale to lift back up. Taking this now into your lateral stretch. Reaching the hands over to one side, and the bottom hand is going to gently pull the top arm as you now plug your hip bone back, creating a cross fiber stretch. Let's inhale back up to center and then over to the other side. And inhaling to the center. You can bring your strap down now. And we're going to work the hands behind us. So bring the hands to the side, turn your palms to face back with the thumbs down. Reach your hands behind you and hold on to opposite wrists, forearms, or elbows. Again, maintaining neutral spine, start to lift your chest. So we're not arching the back, but rather trying to get the sternum to inflate up away from the abdomen. On the inhale, bring the hands out to the sides, and then switch the hands around so you have a different hand on top. If you're not sure which one that is, it's going to be the one that feels a little bit awkward. Lift the sternum and reach the head up from the skull, not the chin. And let's inhale, reach the hands wide, bring the hands in front of you and forward fold. Just allow your upper back to relax here, rounding the shoulders. And inhaling, coming back up to sit. Find your neutral space. Let's switch the legs around. And working into the neck now by drawing the chin to the chest. Slide the shoulders a little bit further away from the ears. And see if you can make your head heavy. Inhale to bring your right ear to your right shoulder. and allow the left shoulder to push down and back. You should have a lovely stretch into the side of your neck. Floating the left hand off the floor. Reach those fingertips away and feel how the whole side lateral part of the neck and shoulder opens. Make sure your lower jaw is very relaxed. Let's bring the left hand behind the back, hooking into the opposite waist. And then releasing hand to the knee, bringing the head upright. Take it to the other side. Lowering left ear to left shoulder and slide the opposite shoulder down and back. Relax your jaw completely. Feel free to make any micro adjustments with the alignment of your head so that you're getting a deeper stretch in your neck. Let's float the right hand off the floor and plug that shoulder down and away. Bring the hand behind your back, hooking into the corner of your waist. And then releasing the hand to the knee, head back to center. Gripping hold of your knees, we're going to now exhale and round your body. Lean back, tuck chin to chest, and lift the pubic bone. On your inhale, arching forward, grip into the hands, draw the shoulder blades back, lift your chin. Exhale, rounding into the back. Inhale, arching into the back. Exhale to round. Inhale to arch. We're going to hold here and start to push your lower jaw forward. And then coming back to center. Hold into the jaw with your two middle fingers, coming into the TMJ. Do a little circle into the TMJ. And now gently waggle your jaw from side to side. Don't make it too intense because you don't want to tighten these muscles. Just want a gentle release of the jaw. And then releasing from there. Little circle again. And then making your way into tabletop. So coming over onto hands and knees. And we're going to work into our Ardha melting heart pose, our half melting heart pose on both sides. Let's start with the right hand to the floor and the left arm forward, bringing your forehead to your right arm. And I'll start to creepy crawly your left fingers forward a bit more and then relax. Creepy crawly them a little bit more and slide your left hip back at the same time. Deep stretch. Exhale, relax. One more time. Slide hip and hand away from one another and relax. Press firmly into your left hand now so that you are able to slide your right shoulder under the mat into threaded needle. Turning the right palm to face the sky. And now you're pressing into the left hand to help roll the chest open while reaching your right hand to the side. So twisting and opening into the chest. Check that the knees are still hip distance parallel. You're now going to slide the left hand in towards you, so the elbow is 90 degrees to the sky, opening the chest a bit more. And then floating the left hand to the sky, palm facing away from the body. Rotate your palm to face behind and tuck the hand behind the hip. There should be no weight in your neck. The weight is in the shoulder and even into the back of your right hand. Let's come out of the pose by floating your arm up on an inhale. Exhale the hand down, and inhale, come back into your tabletop. Working now into protraction, retraction. So draw the shoulder blades together, and then exhale to push the shoulder blades apart. We are isolating this movement into the shoulder blades and rotator cuffs. So the spine is not undulating here as though we were in cat-cow. Again, if your spine is trying to take the movement, it is an indication of tightness into the rotator cuffs. Just make sure that you stabilize your spine and try to isolate the shoulders. And back to neutral pose. We're going to take it to puppy pose on the other side. So now left hand comes to the floor in front of the chest and right hand walks forward. Lower your forehead to your left arm. Let's inhale, creepy crawly, the right fingertips forward and then relax. This time take the hand and the hip away from one another and then relax. One more time, stretching the hand and the hip and relax. Sliding this into threaded needle, plug the right hand down and make space to bring the left arm under the chest. Reaching all the way to that left side. So the left palm is facing up, the right palm is facing down, and we are active into both arms to maintain the twist. Let's bring the right hand in, hand to the mat, elbow 90 degrees, twist the chest open a bit more. Floating the right hand to the sky, palm facing away from the body, and then rotate the palm to face backwards and bring the hand behind the hip. Check that the knees and feet are still hip distance wide. Let's come out of the pose the way we got in. Inhale to float up, exhale to float down, and inhale back into tabletop. Again, a few protractions, retractions into the shoulders here. And this time we're going to add in the cat-cow pose. So as you retract the shoulders, lift your face, lift your hips. And as you protract, you're now going to draw chin to the chest, tuck the tailbone. And maybe you're noticing how the chest and shoulders are more responsive in your cat-cow pose once you have really worked into that protraction, retraction. One more round. And then coming to neutral. Let's sit into the heels for a moment. Palms facing up, and just relax into the upper back. Find your orbit breath. And use the orbit breath to shift energy around the body, removing tension and discomfort. And then coming back into your tabletop. Bring the hands to the floor, knees back underneath the hips. We're now going to float the right leg up behind you. Square the hips so the toes are pointing at the mat. Draw the right hip slightly down and feel how that stabilizes into your lower back. On the exhale breath, draw the knee to the right upper arm and then step your foot wide to the outer edge of your pinky finger. You may want to slide the back knee down if you're looking to intensify the stretch in the hips. If not, stay with the knee under the hip so it's not too intense. We're going to breathe into the space, lengthening head and tailbone away from one another. As you inhale, the right hand's going to lift up. And as you exhale, bring the right hand behind you. Again, if you want hip intensity, the front knee drops away from the body. If you don't want hip intensity, you keep the knee in line with a parallel line. Let's come back to the center, bring the hand to the floor, and now float the back knee off the mat. Squeeze into your back leg, reaching head and heel away from one another. Let's bring the back knee down to the floor, and then you're going to lift the front leg up and step it back. Adjust the hands if you need to, so you're back into your tabletop alignment. Let's float the left foot off the floor. Squaring the hips, reaching head forward, tailbone back. Drop the left hip just slightly to stabilize into that lower back. Exhale the knee to the left arm and step the foot down to the outer edge of the pinky finger. Again, you can come into a wider lunge should you be wanting to intensify the hip flexor stretch, or stay with the back knee under the hip. Let's inhale, left hand to the sky. And then if you want more intensity, rotate the chest open and let the knee drop away. Let's release the hand back down to the mat and lift the back knee off the floor. We're going to hold into our wide lunge. And now, although the hands are on the mat, we're trying not to dump weight into them. So you want to lift your body up, floating. The legs are super strong, the core is super strong, feeling as though you could just float the hands off the floor. Bringing the back knee down to the mat, and let's lift the front foot, stepping it all the way back. Keep the hands further forward this time, so not coming back into your short tabletop, but rather longer forward, so that we can slide our hips up and back and into downward facing dog. heel toe through the legs. And then bringing both heels towards the floor, let's walk the hands back towards the toes. Hanging into ragdoll now, bend your knees, hold onto opposite elbows, and really focusing on making the torso heavy. Heavy head, heavy arms. Feel how that pulls the spine long, creating traction. You're going to gently sway from one side to the other. Maybe straightening one knee to help facilitate the sway. Be very mindful to keep the neck relaxed, keeping the arms heavy. Connect to Ujjayi breath. Come back to center, drop your hands, bend your knees deeply, and let's roll all the way up. Push into the feet so that you feel like you're pushing the body up rather than dragging it up. Come to stand in your upright mountain pose. And inhale, hands overhead. Interlock fingers, turn the palms to face up. Let's lean over to one side. Inhale to center, leaning over to the other side. Inhaling to center, opening elbows to cactus. Lift the chin and chest. And then draw the hands behind the back, interlocking fingers, roll the shoulder blades together. Lower your chin to your chest. And then keeping the hands interlocked as you soften into the knees and forward fold. Allow everything from the bra strap to the crown of the head to soften and melt. Releasing hands to the floor, let's walk forward into downward facing dog. Taking a few breaths in your down dog, while at the same time turning the head from side to side underneath the arm. So we don't lift the chin to gaze over the top of the forearms, but rather we're trying to look under the armpits. Keep the movement soft, we're not trying to create tension in the neck here. Come back to the center, and then lift onto the tips of your toes, bend your knees, curl your tailbone, and lowering down into your tabletop. Let's bring the left hand in front of the left knee, still in tabletop alignment. Taking your right hand behind you, turn the toes to face the side, and lift the right arm. So we're in our supported side plank. Depending on how you feel here, you may want to float that top leg up. Work the core to maintain balance. Let's lower the back leg down, bring the hand under the shoulder, and replace your knee. Bringing right hand in line with the right knee, left foot behind, toes facing the side, and floating the left arm up. Maybe float the left leg if it feels good. And gently release, bringing hand and knee to the mat, tucking toes, lifting up and back, downward facing dog. Look between the hands and take little steps to the front of the mat, nice and slow. Sliding hands now to the shin bones for half lift. Reach your head one direction, your hips the other. Draw the shoulders to the hips. As you exhale, holding the back of the ankles, forward fold. The shoulders are still moving away from the ears. The head is still moving in one direction and the hips in the other. Let's come halfway up, flat back again. Try to lengthen the spine. Imagine each little vertebrae is puffing up away from the next. And exhale to forward fold. Remember, the knees are welcome to be bent or soft. If you're happy to make them straight, then go ahead. Inhale to open the hands wide, standing all the way up. And bringing the hands together at the heart. You're going to keep your feet hip distance parallel at the front of the mat, checking that your middle toe lines up with the knee. On the inhale breath, we're going to sweep the right leg to the chest. Soften your left knee as you now cross the ankles behind you into eagle legs. Let's inhale, open the arms to the sides, bringing left elbow under right. If you struggle with balance, bring that top foot to lightly touch the floor so you've got a toe on the mat to help with balance. We're going to lift the elbows, push the forearms away, draw the shoulder blades back. Let's inhale to open up and release. Stand into Tadasana for a moment. Hands either at the hips or at the heart, whichever feels best. Taking it to the other side now, we're going to lift the left knee, wrap it around your bent standing leg. Open the arms out, right arm under left. Lift the elbows, push the forearms away. Inhale to open, release, back to Tadasana. Taking a deep breath in and out. Standing at the front of your mat, let's step the right foot back as far as you can, warrior two. Gazing at your front middle finger. Align your hips up and reach the crown of the head up as you reach the tailbone down. Inhale, reclining warrior. And inhale, warrior two. Straighten your front leg and turn the toes in. Hands to the hips. Open up through the chest and exhale to forward fold. Remember to breathe deeply here. Let's inhale halfway up, hands under the shoulders. Float the hands to the hips, reach your head forward, your tailbone back, and then inhale all the way up to stand. Turn your right foot out to the side. Warrior two to the back of your mat. Square your hips, square your shoulders, bend your front knee over the ankle. Inhale, reclining warrior. And inhale, back to Virabhadrasana B. Straighten your front leg, hands to your hips, turn your toes parallel. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale forward, holding on to your calves, ankles, or big toes. Bend the elbows out to the side. Inhale, halfway up, hands under the shoulders, and then hands onto the hips. Reach head forward, tailbone back, and inhale all the way to stand. Turning your left toes forward, warrior two to the front of your mat. Bending into the front elbow, sweep the top arm over the ear, and slide heel and hand away from one another. Make sure you're very light onto the front arm and that shoulder is pushing down away from the ear. Look down at your front big toes. Start to straighten your front leg as you bring your hand to the shin, reaching the top arm to the sky. Let's inhale to lift up, hands to the hips, turn the toes parallel. Interlock the fingers behind your back, roll shoulder blades together, open up the heart, and forward fold. Release the hands to the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. Bring the hands to the hips. Use the core to float. And then all the way up. Let's turn to the other side. Right foot out. Warrior two to the back of the mat. Extending forward into Parsvakonasana. Engage into the core. Use your back leg as an anchor point so that you don't dump the weight over the front thigh, but are spreading it evenly from the back heel all the way to the fingertips. Look down at the front big toe. Start to straighten that bottom leg, hand to the shin, reaching the top arm up to the sky. Rotate the chest open, lengthen your torso. Let's inhale, lift up, hands to the hips, turn the toes to face forward, and exhale to fold. Hands under the shoulders this time. Reaching your head forward, your tailbone back. Bring the left hand underneath the chest and the right hand to the sky. Square the hips as you do this, so that you're rotating through the core and the waist and not the hips. Let's bring the the right hand down and the left hand up. Bringing both hands down and then floating to the hips. Inhale, all the way up, rotate to face the front of the mat, and then step your feet together. Taking a deep breath in and out. Let's inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale to forward fold. Stepping back into downward facing dog. Lovely deep breath here. And then making your way to sit on the mat. Sliding the legs in front of you. Coming to lie down on your back. Let's open the arms into a T shape and bring the feet as wide as the mat. So the outer edge matches the outer edge of your mat. Moving through some windscreen wipers now. Exhale to drop. Inhale to lift. You can turn the head away from the knees or keep the head facing the sky. The next time you drop to the right hand side, you're going to hold it there. And if you want to, you can put the right foot onto the upper leg. Otherwise, keep both feet on the floor if that feels better for the hips. Let's release the foot back down as wide as the mat. Come to center and drop to the other side. Again, if you want to, you can put the left foot onto the top thigh or keep it on the mat if that's better for the hips. Release the foot down to the mat. Inhale to center, and then taking one knee at a time until they're both into the chest. Flattening into your back, softening the shoulders to the floor. And when you are ready, gently releasing into Shavasana. Finding the correct alignment here to work with your body. Relaxing your jaw, relaxing your tongue. Relaxing the tiny muscles around your face and skull. Slowly start to deepen and lengthen your breath. Gently running your thumb over the tips of your fingers, moving your toes, ankles, wrists, coming into a full body stretch, bringing the legs together and the arms overhead, yawning or sighing, bending your knees and rolling onto your side. Keeping your eyes softly closed as you lift up into a comfortable seated position. Drawing hands together at your heart center in Anjali Mudra. We'll close the class by chanting Om once and Shanti 3 times. Taking a deep breath in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Raising your hands to your third eye. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Lowering your hands to your lips, to your heart, and to your mat, bowing forward in recognition of your practice. Blinking eyes open, inhaling to lift. Namaste.